my name's Amanda Easton. I'm a performer, singer-songwriter from Sydney, Australia. I make retro-inspired, theatrical, electronic pop. But when I'm not doing my own music, I do
cabaret,
cover band gigs, solo gigs, tribute shows, recording sessions. Welcome to my Circle of Light vlog.
And I'll be watching you. See all the dreamers in the circle of light, the moment of truth on this stage. Throw me over the falls in a barrel tonight to land in the arms of the circle. I can be fierce or funny and I can suck in your smoke and stare at your breath.
Good morning, how are you? Well, it might not be morning where you are, but it's morning here in Sydney. It's 11 o'clock. Sydney, g'day. Debbie, hi. How are you guys going? It is, looks like a beautiful sunny day. I say looks like, I haven't actually been out in it. Hi, Pete. How are you going? Nice to see you, whether you're watching from YouTube, Twitch or Facebook. Please say g'day and tell me where you're from. Well, you don't have to say g'day because you can say hello how you say it in your country. Hey, Stu, I know, right? Okay, so Stu's saying, let's leave the retail stores open though, because we all, most of us, obviously not we all, but some of us in Sydney think it's really crazy that we're supposedly in this hard lockdown, but you can go to Dior or Louis Vuitton, neither of which I've ever stepped foot in, let me tell you. But I'm sure you know that they are very high-end fashion retailers and they're open because that's really essential, and it's supposed to be essential businesses only that are keeping on going. But it's not the way it's working. They just let all the shops stay open. And I get retailers have to make money too. But we also can't just trust that people aren't going to go to the big retailers when they don't need something essential. And instead they mix with people and spread the virus, which we're now at 100 and something a day. And it looks like lockdown's going to go at least another month. Wayne, hello. I bet it's a beautiful day in Coffs Harbour. Hi, Larry. Hi, David. Lovely to see you. Definitely not morning there. You'll be having dinner as we chat. Jill, how are you going? Money talks completely, David. Absolutely. And it's just annoying because in the meantime, there's no money for people like me and plenty of other people. Having said that, it does look like the government is going to come to the party for us. Not guaranteed yet, but it's looking like it. So, yes, I simply must get that couch purse. Absolutely. Excuse me, it's at 89 today. Okay, the press conference probably is happening as we speak. So 89 is not a great number, but it's better than 112, which it was yesterday. But all the pundits seem to be saying it's going to be another month of lockdown. Anyway, you know, we've been here before and we can do it. I roll, absolutely. It does seem crazy though. We just completely missed the boat on, oh, that hurt, on vaccinations. In Australia. We did so well in everything else, but in the vaccinations, I think we're only about 8% of the population, including not a whole lot of aged care workers and nurses and whatever else. So yeah, my arm hurt because I got vaxxed yesterday. Thanks, Wayne. I'll definitely stay safe. I'm going nowhere, baby. I'm staying right here. I went out yesterday. And, Larry's saying hello to Sydney. We've got some people over on Twitch and I'm hoping you can see the chat there and you can see hellos from other people. David has sent me some gorgeous photos. I'll have to show them another time. I didn't get them in today. But David's got some lovely baby goats. You know how I love my baby animals. Oh, gosh, they're gorgeous. So that's my second shot that I had yesterday, which means I'm sorry, I'm not going to play any piano today. I'm not sick at all. And yesterday I was 100% fine, but last night my arm started to hurt and this morning it's throbbing. So I'm going to just rest it a little bit today, not play the piano, especially when, the left hand is what plays all the bass notes and that tends to work pretty hard. And I slept on it, which hurt, But anyway, it's fine. A lot of people get sick after their second shot and I'm not sick at all. Having said that, I got home and I was extremely hungry. So I wonder if that was a side effect. But then if you know me, you'll know that I'm almost always extremely hungry. So maybe that's just normal. And it will only get worse for 3 days. Oh, does it get worse? Okay. Oh, that's a shame. I thought I was over it. Well, I'm hoping I'm going to be okay to do my live stream tomorrow. Since we're going to continue in lockdown, the upside for me is that I get to do more live streams. Take a Panadol, yeah. I think I will do that. I didn't bother yesterday because I felt so good. Although apart from being hungry afterwards, I also felt a little bit crazy. But then you could argue that's normal as well. I don't know if you saw my little Instagram story, which probably went onto Facebook as well. But I sang an ABBA song wearing my mask, my glasses, my beanie and looking pretty crazy. But I thought it was fairly normal at the time, so that might be a side effect. That's right. You're saying, Sydney, the more you move your arm, the faster the pain subsides. Well, I guess I'll move it in its natural way today, but it hurt too much to play the piano. But wish me luck for tomorrow. If my arm's not better, then I might not be able to do the live stream tomorrow. I could have a chat and play some more videos again just to, you guys can keep me company. That's a good excuse to eat. Absolutely. This is my good arm. I always need an excuse to eat. Most people I know think that I'm crazy. That's Stu. I'm getting better with you, Stu. And I know that drink lots of water. Thank you. Yes. I've been trying to remember to do that. Stu often makes comments in song lyrics and sometimes I go, and now I'm getting it. And I know that song, and I think that's Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs, which is a very big Australian band. And speaking of big Australian bands, some of you saw my post yesterday on Facebook. Interesting to see what you think, Stu, because I know you're a music aficionado. The lyrics to April Sun in Cuba, chicken soup, oh yeah, that sounds nice, except I'm vegetarian. I can make an exception for chicken soup though. Billy Thorpe and the Aztecs, yes. And the band I was talking about yesterday was Dragon. Now, I know Jill and Stu will absolutely know who Dragon is. Maybe some others won't. They are, but particularly in the 80s, they were a massive New Zealand band. Now, there's this really weird thing that happens between New Zealanders and Australians. Basically, we try to own them ourselves. Oh, Australia, New Zealand, same thing, which, if you're a New Zealander, no thank you, baby. I don't think it's the same thing. It's probably a bit like some ignorant people saying, oh, Canada, America, same thing. Because obviously there's some similarities. There's geographic proximity, but really completely different countries, right? And New Zealand obviously is across the ditch. As we say, there's a lot of water in between us and New Zealand. But Australia being the bigger country, population-wise, a lot of New Zealand bands, especially in the past, would take Australia as their first step into an international career. They'd probably go Australia and then try to get to the States or somewhere. And you might not realise it, but when you're Australian or New Zealand, America and the UK are very inaccessible as far as, bands getting to be played on the radio or to tour or whatever. It'd be hard enough, for bands that live there, but for trying to get over there from here is always a massive step. So a lot of New Zealand bands would come to Australia first, and that would be kind of the first step, and then they'd go somewhere else. Would I eat veggie soup made in chicken stock? I would if the chicken stock was, this is going to sound wanky, but it was organic, etc. And, I knew the source. I would do that. Lou, good morning. How are you? Oh, that's a good idea, David. I'll play the right hand and you can play the left hand. Across the ditch versus across the pond. That's what you say, England to the US. Yeah, I don't know why we say ditch. Because it's smaller. It's just this big, deep bit. So a ditch makes sense. But we've done that with a lot of different acts. Russell Crowe, a lot of people think he's Australian, but he's actually a Kiwi as well. Split Ends and Crowded House, they're both New Zealand bands that we've adopted. I mean, part of the reason we have in all those cases, Jenny Morris is another one, is because they did actually really get their wings in Australia. That's kind of they did a lot of work here on their careers. So still, if I was a New Zealander, and I've worked with so many New Zealanders, our friend Jo Elms, who you've always heard me talk about and seen videos from, she's a New Zealander. And a lot of the guys in my bands that I work with in the tribute shows particularly are Kiwis as well. Definitely got a different accent. They're famous for going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we would say, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like an kind of sound. And my New Zealand friends are going to kill me because I'm totally doing it wrong. And fish and chips. We'll have to get Jo Elms on you here. On you here. We're going to have to get Jo Elms on here, and she's the best at accents. She can do accents from all around the world, but particularly good at New Zealand accent considering that's where she's from. But she can do a really good exaggerated one. Anyway, the band Dragon is a New Zealand band, but they did that same thing, an 80s band, really big around the time of In Excess and Cold Chisel, but they're still touring. The membership has changed. There's a couple of there's one, I think maybe only one of the original members. And I think the band was started by the two brothers, Todd Hunter and Mark Hunter. And very sadly, we lost Mark Hunter. He died a little while ago. And he was replaced by another Kiwi singer, I think, Mark Williams. And during the 80s, they had a lot of big hits, but their biggest hit is April Sun in Cuba. And it's one of those kind of pub rock, like really intelligent lyrics, great song, but it became a bit of a bogan anthem in Australia. We don't want to accept Dave Dobbin. I love Dave Dobbin. Slice of Heaven, that song, and the Herbs. And the Herbs, we're not going to accept them either. Okay. We can pick and choose. You're from New Zealand, are you? Oh, yeah, we'll have you. No, you can stay in New Zealand. No, you're Australian. I like it. This band, Dragon, massive in Australia and obviously New Zealand. Not sure how they did overseas. One of my bandmates told me a story how Dragon went to play a showcase in an American city, and I'm not sure which one, but he basically broke all the cultural rules and was really rude to the audience because that was the kind of guy he was. Apparently, like, awesome guy, but he just liked to be really cheeky and subversive. And so I think it might have been Texas, actually. But whatever he was told not to say to the audience, he said, which, you should really be prepared for if you know what rock and roll was like in Australia, particularly in the 80s. But apparently he pretty much squashed their hope of having any international career because he refused to play the game. But that's part of the reason we love them, right? Yes. You've seen both versions of the band, Stu. I have seen the more modern version, but not the 80s version, only on video, of course. But the question I asked on Facebook yesterday was about the lyrics. And you can look up the lyrics on Google in all sorts of sources like, YouTube and just general Google. And you think, okay, well, that source looks pretty authentic. Like it looked like it might come from the band or the record company. But then someone posted a copy of the lyrics inside one of the albums they have, and you think that would be pretty authentic. But the main word that I have, or words that I have a challenge with, is what is it? You have to remind me. Na, 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 this guy. What is it again? Oh, that hurt. Don't mess with Texas. No. Oh my God, what is it? Snake Eyes, that's it. Snake Eyes on a Paradise. That's what I've always sung. I've sung this song a million times in bands. Any professional singer, male or female, would have sung this song at one stage. It's one of those songs that the audience go, April Sun, just like they do K-San, which is a Cold Chisel song. So yeah, there's a line. Sorry, I'm being distracted because outside they're doing some kind of, I don't know, I can hear engines and drills and hammers and things. They're doing some kind of construction, and I can hear one bloke saying to another bloke, put your mask on, mate. It's illegal. Nah, it's got to cover your nose. Come on, mate. Put your mask on. If the police come around, they're going to charge you. And it's true. I mean, in the Premier's press conference, which I've been watching religiously lately, except for today because I'm here instead, she was talking about one particular area. They're building your future home. They said, oh, that's nice. They pinpointed a particular area of Sydney that is spiking with the numbers. That was the area that I went yesterday for the vaccination, just by chance. That's where the vaccination hub is. So I was a bit nervous about going out there, which is why if you see my Facebook or Instagram story, I've covered up as much as my body is physically possible. Came home, put it all in the wash. Anyway, the one of the areas of trouble is tradies, because obviously they move around to lots of different venues. A bit like singers do, except we're completely locked down. There's no work for us, but tradies are still working. And so they're really encouraging tradies to be particularly vigilant. I know it does hurt, David. It does hurt. It's okay if it's just sitting there. But, the playing the piano is too tricky. I'm hoping it's going to be okay by tomorrow. But, yeah, this guy's going, go on, put your mask on, mate. Go on, you gotta. And I tell you what, he does. He does gotta. Put your mask on, mate. Put your mask on, mate. I don't know if you can hear me. You probably can with the microphone. Tradies. Yes, tradies are tradespeople. That's construction workers and plumbers and electricians and all those kind of people, tradies. Sorry, I keep speaking Australian and not translating. Yes. Be quiet. Can't you see I'm trying to do a live stream here? Anyway, the lyrics, back to the song, back to April Sun in Cuba. Snake Eyes. I've always sung, snake eyes on a paradise. Snake eyes on the paradise, or on the paradise. No worries, mate, you're learning. Hey, Arichio, great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Snake Eyes on a Paradise is what I've always sung, and everybody I know has always sung. And if you look it up on Google, that's what it's most likely to tell you. It even says that on the vinyl jacket, the actual band's album, apparently. But if you look at the lyrics, it actually, it's all about the Cuban Missile Crisis, and they're really intelligent lyrics for what is, become a bogan kind of rock song. Yeah. Hi, Kev. How are you? Oh, my God. 30,000 you're up to now, and you're making masks optional. And we've got a whole 87 cases. Oh, Kev, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think it's the wrong thing. I mean, I don't know anything more than any other punter does, but it doesn't make sense to me. And I know you guys are heavily vaccinated, way better than we are, but it doesn't seem to me that you're at the point where you can afford to open stuff up. And anyway, all the best. Please stay safe. All my international friends particularly, but everybody at the moment. We just got a little bit more to get through, I'm sure. We all thought this year was going to be different. Next year's going to be different, really. I hope so. Anyway, back to those April Sun lyrics. I actually think it's snake eyes on a pair of dice, which if you sing paradise, it sounds like paradise anyway. Yeah, Leichhardt's noisy. 35% of Nevada is vaccinated. It's better than us, but to be completely open, that does not make sense to me. I'm sure there's other people that know what they're doing better than I do, but I'm happy just to stay at home. The goats will make it better. Oh, goats will always make it better. Anyway, I think it's snake eyes on a pair of dice, because snake eyes, and in my friends from places near casino areas like Arizona will probably particularly know this, that snake eyes, unless it's an Australian thing, I don't think it is, means 2 dice with a 1 on each dice. That's what they call snake eyes on a pair of dice. So I think that's what it is. 1 and 1 on a dice. See, I knew you'd know, Sid. And why was Simon disappointed yesterday morning? This is very intriguing, Stu. You might know something that I don't. But, you know, there are people that swear blind it's snake eyes on the paradise. But what I think has happened, and I know this from, you know, my own releases, but what I think has happened is that the record company or the publishing company has said to Dragon's management, oh, mate, you know, we need the lyrics for the album sleeve. So can you send us the lyrics? And the manager's gone to the band and gone, hey, guys, can you know, send me a copy of the lyrics for April Sun in Cuba. And they've gone, oh, yeah, we're rock and roll. We're not even out of bed yet. We're doing this. And, oh, yeah. And the record company's going, come on, mate, Mr. Manager, I need the lyrics for the record. We're going to print them on the sleeve. And the manager's gone to the band and go, guys, I need the lyrics. And they're going, oh, yeah, rock and roll. We're not even out of bed yet. And so they've gone to some assistant. Oh, look, the band won't even answer my calls. They're all drinking beer at the beach. Can you please get the lyrics for April Sun in Cuba? And this assistant, of course, has been watching the band for ages and writes down what he thinks of the lyrics, because it sounds like Snake Eyes on a Paradise, but it's got to be Snake Eyes on a Paradise. And so I thought, okay, well, you can't trust the lyrics on the album sleeve. You can't trust Google in all its different versions of the song. I happen to know 2 of the guitarists from Dragon. One of them used to be in Dragon. He was in Dragon not during the time that song was released, but soon after. And he was in Dragon for 5 years. He's a Kiwi guy, Mike Kahn. Yeah, see, you Googled it and it said Snake Eyes on the Paradise, but you can also find other parts on Google that say Snake Eyes on a Paradise, which actually I just think makes more sense. But I agree, Wayne, every time, you know, I've asked most people and Googled it, it says Paradise, but I think it's wrong. So I asked Mike Kahn, who I play with in the Blondie versus Pretenders show and the Mac show, and he was in Dragon for 5 years. And I asked him, I tagged him on Facebook and said, Mike, you know, what's the lyric? And he goes, oh, does that song have lyrics? Which, of course, is a joke. And he said, I'm the guy that played the riff wrong for 5 years. And he tells this fantastic story. Mike Kahn, let me tell you, apart from being a lovely bloke, a really, really lovely bloke, he has played in Mental as Anything with Jenny Morris, Dragon, a whole lot of really big bands, and he's toured all around the world. He's met Stevie Nicks and the Beatles and all this stuff. He is such a humble, lovely guy. But he's one of those guitarists. I mean, I know he's fabulous because I get to work with him, but you know a guitarist is really fabulous when other guitarists that are amazing bow down to that one. And there are some guitarists that are considered legends in this country and they go, oh, Mike Kahn. So, you know, Mike Kahn tells me this story that he'd been playing in Dragon for 5 years. And I'm not sure where he was if he was in New Zealand or Australia, but he was in a guitar shop. He was going to buy something. And the guy, I'm not sure if he knew he was in Dragon or not. I don't think he did. But the guy that was assisting him in the shop, the retail guy, picked up a guitar and he started playing April Sun in Cuba, because it's one of those songs that you totally would play if you were demonstrating a guitar. And Mike looks at him and goes, oh, is that how you play it? And apparently he'd been playing it wrong for 5 years. But, you know, he probably played it so well, even if it was a bit different, that no one ever said anything. What a great story. Yeah, I'm the guy from Dragon playing a really famous song from Dragon, but the guy in the record shop played it better than I did. Yes, it's a bit like a Stairway to Heaven equivalent in Australia. Anyway, so I asked him and he goes, I'm not sure what the lyrics are. So I happen to know another guitarist in Dragon, and he's in Dragon now. Yes, well, this is the thing. I don't know Mark Williams personally. If you do, Wayne, please ask him. But I asked Bruce Reed, who's the guitarist in Dragon now, and I used to play with Bruce in Wendy Matthews' band, so I know him really well. So I tagged him in the post and said, Bruce, can you help me out? And he said, oh, I'll ask Mark, because we actually talk about it all the time in the band room. So basically, nobody really knows. I mean, if you're asking the band and they don't know. But the thing is, as I said before, it's very sad that we've lost Mark Hunter, who wrote the lyric. And so, you know, will we ever really know? Anyway, I sing Paradise, I got to say, and I don't think you can probably tell the difference. But it's one of those songs, I can't remember where I learnt it. I can't remember where I first heard it. It's one of those songs that is just in Australian DNA, even though it's not an Australian song. It's actually a New Zealand song about Cuba that has become an Australian national anthem. So there you go. That's April Sun in Cuba. Ask Chip. How are you going, Chip? Lovely to see you. I know the band doesn't even know their own song. Well, you got to think that... you know, unfortunately, there often is a divide between musos and singers. I happen to think a singer is a muso because you have to be musical in order to sing, whether you can read the notes or not. And there are, you know, some singers who can't read music or maybe play another instrument, but it's a different kind of musicality, and a voice is an instrument. Todd should know, right? But apparently they talk about it in the band room all the time, and it sounds like there's some controversy and no one's really sure, but Bruce did say he'd ask again. So hopefully we'll find out from as close to the horse's mouth as we can get. But yeah, sometimes there is a divide between singers and musicians, which is unfortunate. I think especially in the beginning when you're starting out as a singer, you do feel like us and them. The better that you get as a singer, and I think I always, if anyone asks me, you know, what's my advice to singers starting out, I would say learn your music as well as your the theory of music as well as your singing. Obviously, your singing is your focus, and it takes a lot of years, a lot of training, a lot of work to become good at that. But it really helps if you can speak the same language as the musicians you're working with. And especially if they're not singers. A lot of musicians do sing as well, but a lot of them don't. And I think if you can understand, you know, music rhythms and music theory, then there's a lot better relationship you have between you and the band. But often a band is so focused on their part and what they sing. And of course they hear what the singer's doing, but they don't necessarily know the details, the fine details of that. The original writer, the one who passed away, was Mark Hunter, M-A-R-C, Mark Hunter. That's funny, Chip. I have a few doppelgangers in the world. I used to I hope this isn't sounding vain, I don't think it is, but I used to always get mistaken for Kirsten Dunst, especially when I had bright red hair, and the Spider-Man 2, I think, movie came out and she had bright red hair. And I went to a restaurant one night and the waiter was being so, you know, practically bowing at my feet and didn't want to charge me, and I couldn't work out what was going on. And at the end he said, I saw the movie, I'm such a fan. And I was like, sorry? And he said, I saw Spider-Man, and, you know, he wasn't the first person to have thought I was Kirsten Dunst, so I got it. And I did pay. I insisted on paying, obviously. I said, I'm so sorry. I'm not Kirsten Dunst. Feels really, you know, I'm only Amanda Easton. I'm sorry to disappoint you. So sometimes, you know, if people just on the street kind of were funny, I just went along with it and didn't say anything. Just say thank you. I know. Hey, Kevin the Welsh Cowboy, how are you? No, so we can't ask Mark Hunter, unfortunately. Only, yeah, I know, Sid. It should be, oh, you're not Kirsten Dunst, you're Amanda Easton. No, that never happened. Oh, thank you, Chip. That's very sweet. But a couple of years ago, I don't know if you saw any of them, when I was doing my vlogs, and now I do them all live, but I used to pre-record my video diaries mostly. And I sat in the band room at times and looked around at the people I was working with and thought, okay, you're in that famous band, you're in that famous band, you've done that, you've achieved that. And I was always so blown away by the people that I worked with. I thought, I need to interview these people and have a record of this. Because, my background was TV journalism, and I didn't really do it much at all. I did a bit of radio, but, I kind of went into singing straight away, but that's what I studied, not only. That's what I studied at university, and I thought, I'm just going to stick my phone up and have a chat to these people because they are so interesting. And especially, you'll see interviews with the lead singers in a lot of bands, but you don't always see the musos. You don't always see people talk to the musos who sometimes stay a bit quieter. So I did an interview with Mike Kahn, who I was talking about earlier. He's worked with Jenny Morris and Dragon and Mental as Anything, probably most famously, has toured with everybody, the most sweet, humble guy. Anyway, there's a series on my YouTube channel, and please, if you're there, please press the subscribe button while you're there. And that's youtube.com/Amanda Easton. There's a playlist called Stage Stories, and there's, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 different interviews that I did, and they're all done backstage at gigs. So I grab people when they're there, and I've, spoken to... They're all my friends, but they're such interesting people. Anyway, it's just a really quick snippet. The interview is usually about an hour long, but this is a little quick snippet with Mike Kahn from Dragon, and I play a little bit of a Dragon song, live video from one. I couldn't use April Sun in Cuba because the copyright is so heavily policed on it. I would have got in trouble. So this is another one of their big hits, though.
And so when Tommy left, I got the job with Dragon.
The full moon of thunder and all the ribbons are blue. The ice in the window and all the ice in my heart. I've been fooling my thunder, and every time we start, it's been raining for so long. It's been raining for so long.
I decided that I wasn't really cut out to be a front man. I wasn't that confident about my singing.
Yeah, right.
It was this was the New Zealand. You could kind of be a shoegazer and you got away with it.
Yeah.
But over here, it was a bit more, cultures all and the Angels and the sort of era of the front men.
Right. Okay.
So I just basically thought, I can keep playing in this band that I've got, which isn't looking like it's going to go that far, or else I can start touring with Dragon, which seemed like a great option. So.
And they were pretty big stars at the time.
Yeah, they were big, and I actually joined for the Bonglo Road album, and I played on that, and possibly the first guitarist to be sampled in Australia.
Oh, really?
David Hirschfelder was producing it at that stage, and he basically sampled all the guitar parts into a very ancient sampler.
So at what point did you know you were going to do it as a career, or did you?
I kind of never knew. Well, no, I kind of knew because when I was at school, they got everybody to stand up was going to be, because I was at a posh school by default for some reason, but they got everybody to stand up was going to be a lawyer, everybody was going to stand up was going to be a doctor, and everybody was going to be an accountant. There was only two of us left, and it was my friend who wanted to be a mechanic, and me, I wanted to be a guitarist.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I guess that's I kind of knew then, but I mean, one of the great things about it, I didn't really have to decide what I was going to do. It just sort of happened. People would say, "Oh, you're a good guitarist. Why don't you go and play with them?" And so that's kind of how I got into it.
And how did your family react to that?
That was my mother died when I was 19, but I was going through stuff and I found this letter. So I joined a band. We toured around for a year, and it was an absolute failure. We didn't do nothing. Then I went back to uni the next year for a year. And I found a letter that my mother had from a friend who said, "So glad to hear Mike's given up this silly jazz band nonsense." So that's kind of what they thought about it. But
yeah, don't worry, my parents were the same. Yeah. They came around though in the end.
Yeah, that's right. I think, my parents were both gone with you, but I think they would have come around too.
Yeah, if they see you happy and successful, then that's what they
Yeah,
want.
exactly, yeah. And especially, I think the fact that when they see you on TV, that's normally the point at which they
can tell their friends,
Yeah,
and
that's
absolutely.
right. Yeah.
So what is it, of all the things that you've done, that you're most proud of?
I don't really. I guess probably making a living out of music. I wanted to be famous and all that sort of stuff, and I'm actually quite proud that I managed to make a living and raise a family doing music, and the wheels haven't fallen off my life.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
So,
So I remember reading, I think in your bio, that you've supported amazing names like Paul McCartney, The Pretenders, which was particularly impressive considering you're now doing the
That's right, I learned it all that night.
Yeah, exactly, just listening, osmosis.
Yeah.
And who else is there? Please name drop for me.
There's a lot, but I can't remember the Rod Stewart, the B-52s, really recently, the Reclaimers. There's all sorts that we did one-offs, I just can't even remember who they were. Elton John, we did a tour with Elton John.
And what band were you with when you
that was Dragon.
So, and this was locally?
Yeah, we did the Australian tour, support tour, and we also did the New Zealand one, so we did a couple of shows in New Zealand.
Right, and did you get to meet those people?
Yeah, particularly McCartney, Paul McCartney.
Yeah, well, he's got to be the king of that lot, surely. It depends your love
it's
lies.
sad to say, possibly the highlight of my career was supporting Paul McCartney.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was amazing. They went to a lot of trouble to be approachable.
Yeah.
And, I just remember once, there's several things. One was we played about 25 minutes. They had, I'm vegetarian, they had the best vegetarian food you've ever seen in your life at catering, because they were trying to convince all the meat eaters to just eat vegetables.
Is Paul McCartney's a vegetarian?
Yeah. And that was when Linda was still alive.
Right.
And she's a radical vegetarian,
yeah.
so she sort of says, those leather shoes are very good substitutes. But he was very approachable. I just remember once I didn't have a mobile phone at that stage, and I borrowed Jeannie Morris's because I was trying to jack up a present for her. She wanted to get these Maori bone little things that you wear on a pendant made, and I knew somebody that made them. And I was on the phone, and Paul McCartney came up to talk to me, and he said, sorry, you're on the phone. He walked away, and I just wanted to throw the phone from my head.
Anyone that can talk about meeting Paul McCartney and Stevie Nicks and all these people. And you know what I've loved about doing those interviews is people that you work with, you spend time in the band rooms and at sound check and obviously on stage, but you end up learning stuff that you might not have known. Even some of these, Mike I've only known for probably about 3 years anyway, but some people that I interviewed I've known for, 10 or 15 years, and I've worked with them for that long, and I didn't know things about them. And so, and Mike particularly, because he is such a humble, kind of shy person, I'd never heard, that many words out of his mouth until then, and I felt like I really got to know him during that interview, so I enjoyed it. Thank you, David. Anyway, just such a great bloke and an amazing, talented person. When I was posting the thing about April Sun in Cuba yesterday, somebody sent me this video that I want to play you. But have a think, have there been songs for you that you've misheard the lyrics for? The first one I remember was a song in the 80s that I loved, by the Go-Go's, Our Lips Are Sealed. And I know I wasn't the only one, because quite famously this misheard lyric was Alex the Seal. But, sometimes when people are singing, and especially if they don't enunciate well, you can hear all sorts of really strange stuff. So, I'm just going to play you a little bit of this British comedian.
You're all know about karaoke. When you're singing on a karaoke, you haven't got a clue that those were words. I was singing Take That, Back for Good. Wash your back, wash your back, wash your back. Want your back? What's this? Want your back? I've been singing Wash Your Back 15 years. So then when you go on a karaoke and you see lyrics, that's what they're supposed to be singing. You know that song, We Are Family? For years I thought they were singing, just let me staple the vicar. Right? Who's right and who's wrong here? Listen.
All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me stay for the record.
That's what they sing. Just let me staple the vicar. What's all that about?
Just let me stay for the record.
We're giving love in a femidon.
We're giving love in a family dog. We are family.
You know Duffy?
It is a classic, isn't it? It goes on longer if you want to check it out on YouTube. But I know there's a lot of words that I've probably got wrong over the years, you know, and Google doesn't always get it right, surprisingly. Even when you think it's a source that you should be able to trust, it doesn't. So feel free to tell me when I get it wrong because, you know, it probably happens quite often. Whether it was noisy in Leichhardt yesterday. Yes. So Stu's asked, well, it was noisy in our house. And you know what, Stu? Simon might appear to be English, but he's from Jersey. And Jersey is in the Channel Islands. And there's actually a little bit of anti-English sentiment at times. So someone from Jersey isn't necessarily going to go for England. Yeah, because, the European Championship was on, of course, and Italy beat England. And I live in Leichhardt, which is known as Little Italy. We have, I've got to say, not so much nowadays because people like me have moved in, but it used to be an area where a lot of Italian migrants settled, you know, back in the day. And there are still a lot of Italian families and a lot of Italian restaurants and coffee shops and things around. So, yeah, that's what you were referring to. That is where the bank is at. Ooh, Jersey, yes, because they have zero tax for corporates. So there's a lot of banks that move their headquarters to Jersey. That was one way the Jersey government decided to boost their economy and bring over the financial companies, because it used to be known as only a farming area, a farming island where you get Jersey potatoes as well as Jersey cows, and the farming the agriculture kind of industry started to dip when it became easier to get potatoes from Spain or other really warm areas. And so they kind of lost their edge in agriculture, and that's why they moved over to finance. So there you go. Jersey, very interesting place. Gorgeous place. Very French, more French than English it feels. Yeah, I don't know, Peter Kay, I got to say, Kevin. Just the friend sent me that clip. But, yeah, he's a funny guy. So, yeah, I might look up more of what he does, because we could all do with more of a laugh at the moment, right? And if you didn't hear earlier on in this live stream, I got my second vaccination yesterday, and I feel 100% except my arms throbbing. So it didn't hurt at all yesterday, but I have been warned that it can get worse over the next few days. So I'm not playing, because it actually, even to lift it, it is getting worse, I got to say. It's getting worse. It started to hurt last night, and then I slept on it, and then it was hurting this morning, and now it's got a bit worse. I'm not complaining, really. A lot of people get quite sick after their second Pfizer vaccination, and I don't feel sick at all, touch wood. My pianos would. So, you know, it might still change, but maybe not. And so I'm not playing the piano and singing today. I do hope to tomorrow. Your second one hurt more, yeah. I do hope to do my live stream on Twitch and YouTube tomorrow, which would be at 12:30 Australian time, so in just under an hour, but tomorrow. I guess it depends how my arm is, because, yeah, it's hurting more as time goes on. We'll have to have that chicken soup. And in case I can do it, and he's hoping I can, I was trying to explain how to get the song list up while you're actually in Twitch. See if I can do this, because I gave you the wrong instructions. It should be an exclamation mark and then the word list. So let me see if that works. Did something happen? There you go. That's where the song list is located. And yes, Sydney said he'd like to hear April Sun in Cuba, and I can absolutely play that. So if you click on that link, I think it'll take you away from this stream. But you can maybe copy it and put it in a new tab in your browser. But anyway, if you want to go into that song list, you can tick the songs. I think you have to sign in, and it's got to be through Twitch. So not as easy as it sounds. I don't know how to do it without being in Twitch. And of course, Purple People Eater. So feel free to, I mean, none of this costs money. It's just a matter of like ticking the boxes and pressing the buttons. But please join me on Twitch. I can't really do the request thing on Facebook because I get into so much trouble with copyright. They're very strict. And already, this is just crazy. Already, they have told me my account is, I don't know, hasn't affected my account. They said, we understand people make mistakes, so we're not going to cut off your account yet. And you know what it's for? You might have seen that Facebook page. It's basically a picture of me singing into a microphone, fully clothed, fully innocent, yet their algorithm or their bots have somehow picked it up and said it's about sexual exploitation and nudity. I mean, really? The thing is, I've got much raunchier photos that they've completely ignored. So I can't risk doing anything, cut them off. Well, all my peeps are at Facebook. So I can't cut them off. But I can cut them off for this request stream. So I'm doing that not on Facebook tomorrow. So I hope you can join me on Twitch or YouTube. That would be really great. If my arm isn't hurting, and I will let you know as soon as I wake up in the morning and know how my arm is going. But I'll come and say g'day anyway, either way. So let me see. I can't remember who sent me this, but this is like the cutest thing on the internet ever. And I just thought I'd like to put a smile on your face. How gorgeous is that? Oh my goodness. Sydney, I just learnt that I can watch YouTube on my TV. Yeah, you should be able to cast it depending on how you're set up. I think you should be able to do it even on Twitch as well. How cool is that? I mean, a puppy on a goose. Oh, my goodness. Shugi, how are you? I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to play anything today. If you've just joined us, I was just talking about how I just had my second vaccination and my arm is very sore. But if you come to Twitch tomorrow, I won't be on Facebook tomorrow, but I'll be on Twitch, then I will happily give your request a go. I haven't played It's My Party before, but I know you asked for it last week and I'm more than happy to do it, but I'm sorry I can't do it on Facebook because they're nasty about copyright issues. What's the yes you can for? That's the trouble. Sometimes there's a delay in when I say something and when I see your messages and I get the wrong end of the stick as a result. So I'm not sure what the yes you can is. But yeah, yes you can, whatever it is. Okay, let me see. What else have I got for you? Oh, yeah, I think Sydney, you said, watch on TV. Yes, absolutely. On Twitch as well. That's probably what you mean. You should be able to do it actually on any platform. If you can see it on your phone, you should be able to do it on your telly. Although, do you really want to see me bigger? I think I look better smaller. But you can see... now I just need my flatmate to be interested in watching on the telly. Is that your mum? Oh, but we're almost birthday twins. So she should be interested. I think you might have sent me this, Sydney, but since we're in the mood, or since I'm in the mood to see some cute animals. Oh, hello. Can you see behind me? Schmokey! Oh, Kevin, Twitch is a live streaming platform. So it's a little bit like YouTube, except instead of putting up videos that people have usually pre-recorded, It's all live. So it's like a TV station almost, where you can go from watching people like me, playing and singing. You can see cooking shows. It started out as being a platform for gamers, so people playing video games, and I totally don't get it. Like, I love playing video games, but the last thing I want to do is watch a live or otherwise video of somebody playing video games. I do not get it. My 11-year-old son loves it. And no, so tomorrow I won't be on Facebook. I still will be on Facebook at other times. You don't have to do much to be on Twitch. It's free. And Brian, lovely to see you. All you have to do is go to www.twitch.tv and sign in. That's like you're signed in on Facebook. It doesn't cost anything, and they don't take any, privacy away from you or anything like that. But it means you'll be able to watch. I can't do Facebook because of the copyright issues with requests, and I'm already on thin ice thanks to a completely innocent photo that I posted that they said is explicit. And Facebook, I understand they have to be strict and they get into trouble a lot, but they don't have enough staff, real people, to check out these things. And so it's so easy for you to lose your account. And I really don't want to do that. Yeah, so Twitch has an app as well as just a desktop. You can just look it up on your computer, either way it works. And it's really cool. And you can just jump around and visit all sorts of people. And it's very interactive. There's lots of chatting happening. It's very casual, which for me is something, I don't know, I guess that casual thing has only happened in the last 5 or 10 years, where music artists are willing to let themselves be seen, make mistakes. And so for me, for a long time, I didn't want to play piano and sing at my live streams because piano is a secondary instrument for me. I'm, nowhere near as good as the piano players I work with. And I didn't want to play piano to people because I thought, I'm not good enough and I'm going to make mistakes. But then I realised, people know I'm human, and they probably like the fact that they're watching somebody who's making mistakes, so they feel better about their own. And you go on Twitch and you see people learning songs on the spot. You see them practicing. Like, that for me is weird because it's not the way that I started out. But, you've got 20-year-olds on Twitch that are just used to that. And so it's a different thing, but I'm enjoying it. It's like a window into all different worlds, completely free, and you can talk to anybody, via the chat. I think it's fantastic. Oh, no, Brian, you're on your 4th 1-month ban on Facebook, so you get it. I haven't been banned yet. Touch wood. I don't want to be. I really like Facebook. I don't love everything about it, but I love the connection you have with people. And Instagram, I don't think, that's how MTV died, totally. I'm on Instagram as well, and it's okay, but it doesn't feel as real. I feel like it's all about, look at this great photo, and, I don't really look like this, and it feels a bit more superficial. You can't share, you can tag, but you can't share as easily unless you use another app. And I don't know, I think Facebook just feels a bit more real to me. I know there's plenty of superficiality on that as well, but it feels like you can make closer connections on Facebook, I guess is what I'm saying. But Twitch is a different thing altogether, and I love the fact that it specialises in live streaming, so it does it really well. And, I haven't got many friends on Twitch yet, so I really appreciate those of you who have jumped over, especially because I know that I don't think many of you are already on there. You're only playing. Yeah, I know, David. I know most of you weren't on Twitch before I asked if you'd come and join me over here. So I really appreciate it because I know it's not always easy to go into another platform. Like, most of us have already got Facebook and probably Instagram and YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Yeah, thanks, Shuki. Have a look at Twitch later. And if you're there tomorrow, I'll absolutely play your request for you and anything else that you might think of at the time, assuming my arm is better. I usually bounce back from things pretty quick, so I'm hoping so. Still waiting for his bribe for doing the Twitch switch. I'm still thinking of the right thing to bribe you with, to pay you back with. Don't worry, it's coming. I think I already paid you back by learning Purple People Eater. Don't you realise what a sacrifice that was? No, of course, I'm with the request thing, I'm sure I've said it before. But I generally have so many songs that I have to learn for my work, and I haven't got that excuse at the moment. But even songs that I want to write, that learning songs outside my work is sometimes tricky. But, for you guys, absolutely. For you guys, for sure, I will go above and beyond. I thought I should probably play one of my own songs in a stream. And since I can't play the actual piano, I'm going to play you. This is a song from my very first album. And if you're not really familiar with my music, please go to my website that you can see below, amandaeaston.com. You can hear, you don't have to pay for anything. You can stream anything you want to from there. But if you join the mailing list, I'll send you a few downloads that you can keep as well. But this is a song, people have heard me say this before. Sometimes I didn't learn yours. David, I learnt your Animals / Amazing Grace song, especially for you. There's probably another one that I didn't learn. Probably quite true, but I have to make you wait. Anticipation is part of the joy, right? This is a song from my first album, and you've heard me say that I go back and listen to my first album and cringe, but I think that's just par for the course for anybody who creates anything. Their early work kind of makes them embarrassed because, hopefully you improve as you go along. But this is one song that I'm actually not embarrassed about. I still like this song. This is from my first, my debut album, self-titled, because I ran out of ideas by the time I'd written all those songs, so I just called it Amanda Easton.
It's a face I half remember, in a place I've half forgotten. Not a dream, it was real. We were there together. Suddenly everything's clear. Under the tree, we talked for hours. Under the sea, a tiny flower life was so sweet. We knew it all. Did you forget? We go back there. The sky was often gray there. It didn't matter at all. We had love. Then the years all flew by. And now I know what we had then. I realize love is all. I knew it once before. The fog is lifted from my mind, and I know love is in a tree. We talked for hours under the sea. The tiny flower life was so sweet. We knew it all. Did you forget? We go back there. Life can be wonderful. At least it can be. Now I'm there. Not a dream, 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 dream. Not a dream, 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 dream. Not a dream. It was real. We were there together. Suddenly everything's clear.
Thanks, guys. And when I wrote that song, I didn't know there was a Beatles song by the same title. But thank you, Shugi. Is that how it works? But I do believe love is all. So I wish you all the best. I wish you plenty of love in your life. I hope you have a fabulous night or day, depending where you are. And I hope you can join me tomorrow. Don't forget, no Facebook tomorrow. It'll be Twitch and YouTube. It'll be this time, but in half an hour tomorrow. So I really hope to see you then. Have a fabulous time. And I'm going to leave you with some sleeping cats because, they make you smile. I've got one. I have a sleeping cat who's going to get a poke in a minute so she doesn't keep me up all night. But a little bit of sleeping cats before we go, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. I think, Sydney, you sent me this. Bye.
Yeah.
Hi.
Gonna fall off.
What were you doing?